everyone, and welcome back to the Roleplayers Guild. We are finally back from vacations and time off and whatnot, and we jumping back into Dream Dealers of Fairhaven. I am Beluga, your guildmaster here at the Roleplayers Guild, and tonight I am playing Mark V, the Warforged Warforged Warlock. Sorry, it's been a while. Alex, to you, Laura on deck.
I'm Alex. I'm your resident cleric druid multiclass Xylic. And Laura, it's you.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm playing Gilzaf, who's an autognome rogue mystic multiclass. PSA to hydrate your tattoos if you got them. And now it's B Spouse's turn.
I'm B Spouse. I'm playing Svetlana, the resident artificer tiefling, or tiefling artificer. And this here is Tiny Cat, who may or may not be playing Svetlana's goat, Koza. Jason.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody. My name is Jason. I am your DM. Welcome to another exciting, action-packed, adventure-filled episode of Dungeons & Dragons in the realm of Eberron, specifically in the city of Fairhaven, where y'all have been digging up a mystery and figuring out the stuff, right?
Mark V.
Oh no! All right. Test.
You are frozen.
You are frozen.
Frozen. Crap.
Audio was working.
All right. Audio was working.
All right, you're back now.
Okay.
All right. We'll see how that goes tonight. Slightly patchy internet. We'll see what's going on, but sorry about that. Can you hear me back now?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Okay. So, what we were at? Where was I? Okay, yeah, in the city of Fairhaven, y'all have been digging up a mystery. With that, so we have been, what do we call this inn?
I don't think we gave it a name.
The Broken Anvil Inn, actually. It is the Fairhaven location of the Broken Anvil Inn, right?
I wrote cracked.
Right on.
But broken's good.
Yep. Cracked anvil, broken anvil, kind of the same difference, right?
There's an anvil.
All right. There's an anvil. Okay. So in our last episode, you kind of dug into, peeled away the layers, figuring out the mystery, what was going on behind these mysterious happenings. It appears that people are different representatives of society, and different people in the city are becoming possessed by some kind of ghostly apparition or multiple apparitions. They appear to be taking over key individuals and key people, and they are beginning to kind of sweep through the city and causing mass hysteria and bad things to happen. Y'all were hired by the City Watch, by an investigator or a person who heads up the investigative arm of the City Watch, and were asked to kind of figure out what was going on and perhaps solve the problem. Once you did that and knew what you were dealing with, you went back to reported back to that person. As it turns out, Selfron, who are you? And suddenly the investigation was taken out of your hands by the higher ups. Right? You were told we have this under control, they said, right? But there was one individual among them who was able to communicate with you telepathically, who simply said, meet me later, basically, right? So we fast forward that time back to this home base, the Broken Anvil Inn, where you have met with this one Mystier, who was Salfron's, one of Salfron's lieutenants, who appears to hopefully have some answers, right? You now sit around the table. She has met, she's kind of showed up. She's carrying a small black envelope, and that's kind of where we're at the moment. Y'all have questions. I see lots of writing on the screen.
I'm just trying to figure out what kind of spread we're dealing with here.
Oh yeah,
I don't know, but Gilzaf
Yeah,
did
some
not
good,
eat plates
great
in front of
dressings.
him.
right? Yeah, something like that, right? Eggplant cutlets, fried shrimp. Yeah. What is that? Feather banana?
I
Is that right?
circled
Did I
feather.
read
Yeah,
that
it
reading
looks
right?
like it looks like it could be a feather or a banana. Why would you have a banana on a plate?
It's
like that?
I don't know. Maybe a
There's
fork
a
and knife
pie.
Maybe
kind of
it's
banana.
banana
It's an
tempura.
Eberron banana,
Could be banana
Ooh.
tempura.
Yeah,
Fried banana.
Maybe it's a plantain.
right?
could be a plantain.
Well, if it's a
Could be a
plantain,
plantain.
you wouldn't serve it like that. Plantain, you gotta cut up and cook.
Well,
can't
maybe
eat
they cut it
plantains
up and
raw.
cooked it and then shaped it back into the shape of a banana. It's fine dining.
Maybe it's food
Oh,
that
my.
only exists in
Could be.
Eberron.
Yeah,
Could be.
There you go. Okay, fair enough. Could be
It's an
that.
Eberronian banana, right? Something of that nature.
Well,
All right. So yeah. BB, what questions might you have for Mr. Figuring out what the heck is going on?
so, Mystere, you said that Zaffron was murdered. Do you know who killed him?
And her eyes kind of dart about, and says, "I think we both know the answer to that. Saffron stood in their way."
Do you suspect that it was these? Oh shoot! What was the name of this? Crap! Do I have it on my?
And she breaks in and says, "The Dreaming Dark."
That's what they're called. Well, if that's the case, why would Viatmar be so urgent to get us off the case? Do you think that he's somehow connected with these dreamers?
I do. Viatmar is not Viatmar. He has been compromised. I believe him to be taken by a quarry.
So, like, when you say that, do you mean like they replaced him with like a quarry that's taking his shape? Tell me more about these quarry.
It's more like he was occupied by a quarry. It's his same body. And she says, "Let me." And she kind of pauses a bit. Let me back up a bit. My people, we come from Dalcor, right? And some of you might know this to be the Dalcor to be the plane of dreams, right?
Yeah.
And most creatures in this world do dream. And for my people, the realm of dreams is home. That is where we exist, where we live. The Dalcor, the quarry, exists within this realm. However, they possess the power to traverse to other places, to cross the lines, to bend reality, and to step into the realm of the corporal or the physical plane, which is where you exist. For centuries, my ancestors fought fought major wars and fought for control over the realms, and that is where I had come from. There was a splinter group who didn't believe what we were doing was right. And as I said, for centuries, the quarry, the Dreaming Dark, they spent all these years trying to take over and trying to completely subvert the nation of Riedra, the nations of Riedra. They succeeded, and now they have turned their many eyes to Corvair. And that's why we're beginning to see these things happen. Albeit it's been far less But there was a splinter group who felt that they were doing wrong, and that that this was not the way to. We believed there was a group that believed that we should coexist. That is where I am from. I am Kalashtar, sworn enemy of the Dreaming Dark, and I'm here to help where I can.
Ooh.
If you are prepared.
So your people have experience with these cultists, then, huh?
In fact, it is. Well, it was my origin.
Jason, I think we missed a chunk of that when you froze up there for a second. And
Yeah, sorry.
Also
Okay.
curious if there's
Okay.
if there's a something we can roll to have some kind of knowledge of the Kalashtar, or if we shouldn't even know that because she's gonna be the one who tells us.
Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah, and you might have heard about. You might Kalashtar. You could try a history check. See if that resonates, and that could also help with some action here with that.
Was that nature?
Let's do history.
Oh, history, okay.
Uh-huh.
I want to do a history check.
I'll cast guidance on the next person to do a check
Okay.
instead. Because
Okay.
my history is going to be super long.
Okay.
You gave me +4. Thank you very much. Now I have a 17.
All right. Good. Svetlana, the name Kalashtar doesn't seem to ring much of a bell. However, let's see, for Gilzaf, you remember some things of it, and you kind of remember that the Kalashtar was a splinter group, breaking off from the Dreaming Dark. Essentially, they were kind of a rebel group that was up, had very different ideas, and decided to fight against what was happening. That's about all you remember, but it kind of ties into an insight that you have, that you kind of get a sense that this person is an ally, is somebody there who can help you out, and just by nature of their interests, they would be somebody you might be able to trust.
So I have a question for you, not you, Jason, but for in character you.
For Mystere?
Yes, for Mystere. If you knew what was happening this whole time, then why did you have us go and investigate all these mysterious occurrences that you knew were this Dreaming Dark? And I do want to insight whatever she says to see if she's telling the truth or not.
Yeah. This is a great question. The answer is pretty simple. We are few in number. You're descended from a small group of human monks, who allied with the Kalashtar centuries ago. Over the eons, over the years, we've been hunted down and killed by the Dreaming Dark. We don't see eye to eye with their ideals. You see, the Dreaming Dark fight to keep the current age.
Mm-hmm.
They want to keep the status quo, as you say. They want to keep things the way they are. In fact, they want to make things more like the way they are throughout the entire continent of Riedra. And as such, they've sought to eliminate me and my kind. Help! I cannot fight them alone.
Where are the rest of your people? You say you're small in number, but
yeah,
I don't think I've heard of this Kalashar ever since just now. Until just now.
Mm-hmm. As I said, we are few in number. We are interspersed throughout the cities and nations, throughout Corvair. We're trying our best to protect and stem the tide that comes for you. But as I said, we need help.
And my insight for how truthful she's being was a 25.
Okay. Yeah, she seems
I'm really good at
very
insight.
sincere. Yeah, and just she seems pretty sincere. It looks like she's on the level. She doesn't. You don't see any kind of signs of deception or
Cool.
hiding or that.
Love that. Love that for
Uh-huh.
us. Well, I'm gonna
Are
sit back.
are these dreamers spread throughout the lands just as dispersed as these Kalashar are?
The Dreaming Dark are vast, and they are seeking a foothold. Fairhaven was to be the first place where they were going to establish that. This is the tip of the spear, but soon there will be more.
I am thinking, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but like the Dreaming Dark is stuck in the land of the dreams, and so they need focus to get through to this place. And so the stones, they make up the little focus point that they can get through, and they can get themselves little friendly bodies so they can go around and move around our world, like little, like gloves with gloves on them, like fingers with fingers, smaller fingers attached to the end of them. So you have a hand on your hand and a smaller hand. So you can grab things that you couldn't grab with your normal big size hands. That's what we're looking at here. And so they are stretching through the stones, which means the stones are the problem, I am thinking. So now we know where the stones are, but we don't necessarily know where they're coming from, yes? So I am guessing, is that what you are thinking is our next stop?
Wait, don't we know where
The
they're coming
stones create a dreamlike state, right? Or a dreaming state. The stones are a gateway. They accentuate, they speed up the process of REM sleep, placing the user into a dreamlike state, which essentially opens the gateway for the quarry to enter therein and to possess, to at first suggest, and then to persuade, and finally to seduce and to embrace. But you are in essentially, it is the gateway by which they enter our world and are able to possess those bodies. Gilzaf, you were going to say something?
I said it in chat. It wasn't actually super important.
Uh-huh. Right.
So
Yeah. We have those. Uh-huh.
if we destroy all of the stones that already exist, will that help?
No. They would likely find another way. If not a stone, then perhaps a potion. If not a potion, perhaps another item. In time, they will work to build entire monoliths that will increase a dreamlike state for all who gaze upon them. Raedra is filled with them, the dream state monoliths that they may be called. What I recommend you confront the lieutenant who seeks this. I recommend you confront the lieutenant who spearheads this operation.
Well, everybody
Cutting the head
being
off of that
asleep
snake.
or possessed is kind of bad for business. But like, I could move to a different continent. What's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
How many
kind of-
continents are you getting to?
Right. She
I don't
kind of
have
gives
to
you a
breathe.
strange
I
look.
can walk underwater.
No, I'm more worried about like there's the continent where people can't have cities or civilization. There's the continent that they've already gotten taken over. And then there's what? The continent where the elves tell you to go away because they didn't ask for you, I think is the other one. So like
That's fair.
I mean
Yeah,
we've
okay.
only got the one, so
Yeah, I guess it is now my problem, isn't it?
also I'm guessing that we cannot just build like some kind of giant dream bomb and blow up the entire plane of dreams because that would probably be bad for like everyone, yes?
Well, I don't dream. It's not
It
bad
would.
for me.
I'm pretty sure it's part of whole like planar structure, so it would, it seems bad. And like if we made so people normally can't dream, that would also be bad. But also, I think it would probably hurt Kalish Star people because she said that's their home too, sort of thing. So like, I don't know, but I'm not sure that blowing up an entire plane is good. Although it sounds really fun to do.
It does sound fun to do.
I come from a swamp, and from what I could tell, if you kill off even the smallest insignificant part of life from that swamp, it'll throw off the entire ecosystem. So a tactic as drastic as blowing up this dream realm could cause unforetold damages throughout the rest of however many realms there are. I think Svetlana is right to have caution in this matter. I'm not sure what else we can do besides what
Confront
we can
the
on this physical realm that we inhabit.
Got to find a way to poke them out of the bodies, though. Because we can't just go around killing everyone and, like, solving it because their chests exploded with ghosts. I mean, we can, but it sounds really unpleasant and bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're saying we can't, like it's not physically possible, but it is. We shouldn't.
Yeah, it's that one. And I don't think people would appreciate, like, we just had a big war. Why do we have to have more?
That's true. Yeah, like I don't think I've heard a single word of thanks from any of the people that we've liberated so far.
Right? So
liberated
there's no gratitude.
From their mortal coil. They're no longer alive. We liberated them from their lives.
Right. And that does seem to be kind of how it connects, right? There is, so far you haven't really been successful at trying to separate a possessed individual from their quarry occupant, right? Yeah. So she begins to think for a moment, and she kind of looks at looks at you, Gilzoff, and she was kind of confused about your question about what's in it for me, right? She begins to inquire, like, what is it that you want?
Oh, really? I'm just like looking for a motivation, right? Like, I mean, we already did a lot. But I think I've kind of gotten that motivation. There's nowhere else for me to go.
Also, didn't you get turned off by one when you picked it up?
I did. Thanks for reminding
me. Lana wasn't
Wow.
there, so I doubt Saf put that in the notes.
Rude. But no, thank you for reminding me personally. Not Gilsaf. I forgot about that.
Okay. Right. Okay. So she goes. Mr. goes on to explain that whoever it was that the general, if you will, who leads this operation, has ties to every other quarry, every other dreaming dark being that is involved in this invasion. And she kind of alludes that cutting the head off of that snake would cease the possessions, and at least fend them off for a time, at least long enough for Fairhaven or for the nations of Corvair to mount a counterstrike or a counterattack.
I feel
there's
like
a stronghold. Okay. But there's something deeper that you want, isn't there, Gilzaf?
Yeah, it's gold.
Gold.
It's very deep. I'm super deep.
Okay. And she looks at you. Let me see. Okay. She almost kind of looks through you. After a moment she speaks. She says something to the effect of, you are a very unique construct, not without your own emotions and desires. There is more. was a deeper story to you. You're looking for something, someone, and you
Is
kind
that
of
true?
let's do a quick let's do a perception check, Gilsaf.
A what?
Do a quick perception check.
Perception. Okay.
Uh.
10.
Okay. All right, kind of middle of the road. Not too difficult
Mhm.
to perceive. But there's something at work there. It might be magic, but she's kind of looking to kind of poke through and peer through thoughts.
Mhm.
And it's not intrusive. You can put up your walls and hide what you want to hide, but you kind of get that sense that inwardly, like she's kind of it's a spell that's kind of knocking at the door and wanting to know what it is you want. And then kind of recall like some of the things about some of the like the deeper desires of your character and what motivates them. She's curious about that.
I am super inquisitive about everyone else in the world, so I totally understand that. However, with that, I'm also super secretive about myself. So I
Okay.
am probably going to put up the wall. Maybe put in like I'm only level 1 of a mystic, so I'm not like super good with the mystic arts. But something along the lines of like, we're not good enough friends for you to access that information yet.
Right.
You're not
Okay.
high enough level.
Right. Good. And she sees, and you kind of, once you kind of put that out within your psyche, there's an immediate ceasing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was a knock on the door, and it's an obvious, not home. And she kind of backs up, but you do get a sense that she kind of wants to find out from you and from each of you, what it is that kind of motivates you. And from that, you draw a sense that she wants to kind of do what she can to help provide that. She does have, and she's kind of sending all of this to you within what she speaks, but also what she sends to you telepathically, because there's so much more that can be communicated through telepathy than words, than what physical words can be said. But you get a sense that she has a connection to a deeper network, the network of dreams, network of melted minds, network of connected consciousnesses. If there's things that you wish to learn and know and see and understand, she can provide access to that. Okay. You are a most unique. Let's see. You are a most unique construct, Gilzaft, Ashquap, Dillydor, Fivel Strings, Junior the Third.
Whoa,
I have
know
much
my
to learn
whole
from
name?
you. Somehow she pulled
My
that.
government name?
Right? And she says that out loud.
Wow.
She says, I have much to learn from you. Where I am from, there are few who do not dream.
Well, I, for one, do not dream. I don't believe many of my robot cousins dream either. Can you access our minds if we don't dream? I mean, obviously, you just tried to access my mind, but
Right. And that was part of it. It was she was kind of working to kind of understand that, figure out how that connects. Constructs or creatures such as that, autonomes and things like that. It's not just science in D&D. It's not just mechanics that work together. There's a magic that's involved. There's a spiritualism that's involved, and she touches upon those things. But you kind of get a sense that as she looks around the room, she's able to kind of comprehend and see each of you. And she's she's here to that's kind of how she bargains. She's here to kind of put that on the table, as to if there's knowledge that anybody seeks, there's information that somebody's looking for. She may be able to peer the world of dreams, of connected dreams and connected consciousnesses throughout the planes, to receive that. It's an incredible gift, an incredible talent that you all might have access to if you help her out. But also, there's the simple motivation of you get to save the world, save the day, as it's pretty obvious that Fairhaven and thereby the rest of Corvair is under a pretty severe attack. A subtle attack that isn't necessarily seen in broad daylight, but a dangerous threat nonetheless.
Oh, so this is like a war behind curtains, almost. So
Indeed.
absconded from public view that very little people even know about this then. I mean, Gorman Vitali didn't even know that the stones he was selling was causing all of these issues in his own town. I mean, wouldn't it be more helpful if the public knew about what is happening, allow them to defend themselves, and choose not to use these invasive devices that could be, significantly impacting their, well-being? Why must this be so hidden from the people of this realm? I feel like they should have more of a hand in, their own personal protections.
She thinks for a moment and says, Gorman was a pawn. Ambitious, he only saw the dollar signs. He was offered an exclusive contract to sell the Lucidia stones in Fairhaven and the regions throughout, and he sprung for that deal. He did not know. You are correct. He had no idea. But even if that were to come to light, and if that were to be announced, what would you tell the people? That these Lucidia stones are actually being controlled by an unseen force, and if you use them, you will be made a pawn in a greater scale war aimed at destroying and subverting and overtaking all of Corvair?
Well,
that may be the truth, but you may have difficulty convincing everyone, wouldn't you think?
I mean, for sure, but something as drastic as that does not need to be the first step. If Gorman had knew that these stones were at least in part, if not the sole reason for why these citizens were going insane, if he had known, he could have taken them off of his roster or his itinerary, his inventory, and restricted the use of these items by a significant amount, which would then have, I mean, what was it? All the people in the workers in the textile factory, the citizens in the school that Brandon had assaulted. There could have been some sort of life saved.
Well,
I feel like this secrecy has caused more harm than good.
He has tried to use this stone, and it has done nothing bad to him, so he would not be convinced that there is something wrong with him, because as far as he's concerned, it's just happy fun time in dreamland where you make things out of whatever.
Right.
So we probably have to
We only believe.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No.
We only believe everything that you're saying right now, or what she's saying right now, because we've experienced it now.
There.
Like Svetlana is saying, he didn't experience any of that. He only experienced the good.
But from what Mystere is telling us is that these Kalashar have been fighting against the Dreamers for some time. The city guards had known about these incidents before, or knew about these incidents even though Gorman was still selling the stones. So if the Kalashar's info and experience and the events that the guards were keeping from the public, if they were brought to Gorman's attention, I mean, that may have been evidence enough for him to have pulled them. I mean, as of right now, this discussion is mute, right? Things have already happened. He's already sold them. There's nothing we can really do to change it. My main thing is that withholding that information had caused these incidents to happen, and from here on out, if we continue to fight this war in secrecy, I fear that more damage can be done.
So you're suggesting being as open as possible, right? Announcing it.
Mm-hmm.
To a degree. I mean, I've never lived in a city of this, well, in a city in general. I've come from a large swamp and I chose to exile myself from my tribe. I don't know the inner machinations of such a large city. My viewpoint may be skewed as you all have more experience in a more highly populated environment than I would. So I don't know. Just from my own personal outlook, from where I come from, in my own history, keeping things secret like that causes more trouble than good.
So in a large setting, individual people may use the reason and may be able to cope with information that they receive. However, in such a large setting, people can't. They tend to panic over little things, and sometimes that's not necessarily a good thing, and sometimes information needs to be kept from people for the good of the people. There is no Warren Bussing say.
Indeed.
Okay.
I think I'd have to just take your word for that, Gilzaf. As like I said, I don't come from a realm full of so many people, so highly concentrated.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Mystere,
Maybe you're right.
okay. Mystere shifts her gaze to you, Xylek, and she closes her eyes and opens them again and said, "No, you are not used to this. You are not used to this populace. You came from the blood swamps.
Yes.
You did not necessarily come of your own volition. You were called, summoned even, sent. You are a missionary. You have a message to share and to send."
I'm still trying to get used to that my own way. But yes, I've been granted my abilities from a deity who's reached out and asked that I spread their message and advocate for them. Oh,
Then I would illustrate the current situation in light of your greater goals. How can you teach a people? How can you preach to them if they are already taken by a Perhaps it would be in your greatest interest, and it would further your interests in furthering your faith, if those among whom you teach and among whom you ministered were in charge of their own faculties. Would it not be so?
I 100% agree with that, and I'm fully on board with cutting the head of the snake, though I'd never really liked that term. But yes, getting ahead of the situation, and I'm 100% on board with that, for sure. There's no question. And you're right.
Yep.
I mean, if I were to continue or at least even start this pilgrimage, it would be easier if those wanting to learn are of accepting dispositions. Yes.
Good. Then you will help then.
Oh, well, of course. Like I said, there's no contest. I will be at your beck and call. Well, I'm game. That's the best way I can.
I have 2.5 questions.
Please.
What's your half question?
The half question is, don't we have one of these rocks somewhere, or did we break them all?
I have one.
We didn't
Okay,
break
so
it?
then
Pretty sure I have one that I hid from Svetlana, or not Svetlana, Elspeth.
yeah.
Mm.
I thought you did. I just
thought
doing
you
sure.
had one and then you ended up breaking it, but I could just be thinking about a different one.
I think you snagged another.
Fair.
Yeah, I think I snagged another. I don't have one in my inventory though, but I'm pretty sure. No, I do. I have one in my inventory. Yeah, I didn't
Okay,
smash
so
it.
they have questions. Good. Okay, so then the second question, we're going to work backwards, I guess, is if someone were to use that with and do the thing, Miss there, would you like keep them safe from the bad, or would you be able to do that so we could see how they work and potentially, like, I don't know, do some kind of scout thing in there in the dream place?
Okay. And she says, I'm glad you asked. Do not use the Lucidia stone that you came across. And she reaches into her bag, and she sets a bright, shiny stone on the table. I have this. This Lucidia stone has been, the mechanisms within it that open you up to the wrong sources, or that allow you to be open to suggestion, have been muted. This one will help you enter that world of dreams, but you will have a full awareness of where you are and what is happening. You will have control of your faculties. You can have power. In fact, the same powers that you hold in this world can translate to the plane of dreams through this Lucidia stone. But it needs to be used in the right location.
What's the location?
And that's when she comes up with this flyer. There is a stronghold. Go ahead and have a look at that handout if you're able to access it. Or I might need to say show to players, right?
I can see it, and
I can see it.
Okay.
Ooh, look at those fancy condos.
Right.
I would like to change my character to Merwin Luff, please.
You're right.
There you go, huh?
Can I roll an
Right.
insight on this? She's just doing an elaborate scheme to sell us real estate.
Right. Absolutely.
Plus 6 is 18.
18. All right. You have no notion that she is drawing a commission in any way on the sale of on whatever sales may proceed from this meeting.
Okay.
It appears that she is. It appears that she is not even licensed to sell real estate. But yeah. However,
Like
to some of you, what's that?
Sorry, I'm not playing a paladin. Never mind. I don't care if she's licensed or not.
Oh. Right. There you go. Yep. Yeah, and some of you, let's see, I think everybody except for Svetlana might find some familiarity. You saw this address written down in one of the scratched out notes in the when you were at the textiles factory going through there. I think it was in Gravemore's office. You saw this address, right? There is a physical place that connects between our world and the plane of dreams, and the Dalcor. It is here. This place was purchased several months ago, and it's likely heavily guarded at this point, though you may not be able to see those guards with your physical eyes. Within that realm, there will be several stones which you will need to find and destroy. Once you've destroyed them all, there's likely 4 or 5 of them there, but once you have destroyed them all, you'll use this Lucidia Stone to enter the plane of dreams. There you'll face the general who spearheads this attack. If you can bring them down, then you can save Fairhaven. You can save all of Corvair.
Mark 5. You knew a little bit from the resistance within the city. Does this location spark anything in you?
Oh.
DM.
Did we use that
We used
use
the
that
memory
cartridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was actually going to be part of Svetlana's first question.
Oh, we didn't
Okay.
even get to those questions.
Right.
No, that would have been it. So that's like Svetlana's immediately turning to look for the answer to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all looking at you, Mark 5.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. You do remember there are some memories of this the sale being facilitated, and you remember it kind of like seeing the flyers, seeing that there was going to be that they were going to close the deal and all of that biz, working through all of that, and it was all kind of expedited, and then everything just kind of went dark about it. There was just no further information given on that, and you were aware that it had something to do with the whole plot of things, but it was about that time when yourself and Mayweather Westland were beginning to plot to try and stop what was happening, and then you were kind of switched off, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
All right, I will relay that
Okay.
in simple terms.
You got it.
And I'm curious. Mystere. Did you know anything about this resistance? Did they know anything about the Kalashtar?
They did not.
I say to Mark 5.
Right. Oh, to Mark 5.
Like, did you know anything, Mystere and Mark 5? Did you guys know anything about the Kalashtar?
Yeah, did not. Yeah, most likely. Mystere, Mark 5, and other and others that were with them, they knew that something was going wrong. Something was up, and they kind of, started to dig up answers. They didn't know the scope of everything, but they knew that something was going on, and they actively began to try and stop it and thwart efforts. And that's when they were snuffed out.
Like my people, I say to no one at all because I'm secretive.
Right. Yes, indeed.
So
Let's see.
once we go here and we find the stones that we need to destroy and we destroy them, and we go into the dream realm through your stone and find and destroy the people that we need to do this out, can we keep this place? Is this ours now?
Mr. She thinks for a moment, and she's kind of taken back by the request, but she said we may be able to make that happen. I don't own the property. Tobias did, and his group, but we may be able to make arrangements for that to fall into your hands, if that's what you wish. It looks like quite a nice place. What's that?
I'm okay with this being payment, at least for me.
Okay.
Because I still do want payment. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and she just kind of makes an offhand comment. as to like you wanting this property, having possession of this property, doesn't seem to coincide with what she kind of saw within you of what you might truly want.
Yeah.
But
No, it's not.
and you kind of have that awareness, but you also get that awareness that she's kind of going with it, and she's aware that that's not the same thing, but she's gonna go with that and be like, very well, if that is what it is.
There's
I will
a
endeavor to
wall
make that happen
there,
for you.
and the wall has a poster that says "Give gold here."
There you go. You got it. All right. Let's see. So yeah, that's.
Ilse,
Yes.
I don't think that you need to make that payment because I'm pretty sure that the person who owns it or owned it already is dead. And if we can get rid of the rest of that little like combine thing, then we could potentially either manage some kind of squatters' right sort of thing, or like salvage or something like that, and we may be able to get it in a petition to the city to just sort of like take it off the market before it goes back. So like just something to consider. So like we can do that.
I'm sticking
Good
with
to
you.
know
You're my
real
best
estate.
friend.
Good to know real estate people at some point. So like that cover the legal code. So like think smarter, not harder. Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
And then use, like your 3 wishes for something fun. Bookmark 5. Like, apparently we have to go fight dream things. You know how we do that? Better than like, killing people and having them crack out like some kind of messed up butterfly.
Yes, please tell us how, because that's scary.
It's also unpleasant and gross.
Those two.
Sorry, how what?
How we can go about
how to kick the possession out without necessarily killing the person, if that was somehow in the research that
right
was in that chip or what have you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's once that bond is formed, once that and this is specific to my adventure, this may not be Eberron lore or or quarry lore, but once that symbiotic relationship is formed, the person is essentially convinced, the physical person would have to really want to let go of that symbiotic relationship. They would have to want to let go of that connection, and that's hard to do. That's like asking somebody to let go of their best friend, their deepest love. It's almost as if I don't know, like it's like they've been completely deceived. But they've been convinced that this person, their dreams are coming true within their own mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have, connected with something otherworldly, with another person, another being, and in their mind, this person is their soulmate, or this person is their father, their mother, this person is their long lost relative, their all of that, right? And they can feel that connection between the two of them, and so they would have to be convinced to let them go. Ultimately, it's their choice, right? So that's a really on to break with that. So yeah. However, as I said, essentially killing the general will sever those connections, and that'll obviously lead to a lot of emotional distress with these people who are under the power of the Dalcori.
Become therapists out of this penthouse.
Right.
I was actually about to suggest that to Gilseth.
Right. It's all coming together now, right? That is the plan.
Okay.
This
Now I
opens up
have
a real
motivation
opportunity for you
to do this. Yeah. This is a real good setup. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and Mr. as that conversation comes out, Mr. kind of eyes you, eyes you kind of knowingly and says, "Well, We all have our Geppettos to find, don't we? And then
All right.
shifts her gaze. And then
Well, now
shifts,
Delzaf's
shift.
not part of the conversation anymore.
Okay. Right. She shifts her gaze to Svetlana. You have a trinket. Something you're curious about. You wish to reverse its effects. You wish to modify it.
That's true. And I asked that question, and now I'm trying to remember what it was.
It was the item that could.
Yeah,
put
the music
to
box,
sleep.
right?
Yeah.
The music box.
Yes.
It puts people
Yeah.
to sleep. Do you possess the knowledge to do that? Do you know how to do it?
Only one way to find out, I think.
And then
She
she
puts a bag of tools on the table with a clank.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So that's kind of when you start to kind of feel that almost that knocking at the door, right? And she says, "Would you like to know exactly how it's done?"
She is spending more time thinking about this than she probably should.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, I feel like that kind of takes away part of the fun, but probably, I guess, in the interests of time and saving lives or something, I could, just get the answers from you instead of figuring
Okay.
it out in the lab.
Okay. That's kind of like instrumentation, kind of weaves, and within that, almost in like a moment, you just not just kind of within your head about the process of being able to kind of reconfigure that device. A shift here. It's really honestly, it's a simple process. It's a change in the spell, and a shift in the mechanisms within the box, and it will be able to do the exact opposite. It will wake people from their dreams. There, you have the knowledge. All that is left is the work in making the modification. I'll offer this in good faith.
Svetlana says thank you, but it's clear that, like, she's kind of sad she didn't get to do it herself.
Okay.
She means the thank you. But
Right? Okay.
The journey is half
It
the
is
fun.
good. The journey is half the fun, right?
more than half for her.
Like 99.9% of the fun.
The journey is where the unexpected explosions happen.
That's true.
Mhm. Right. Thankfully, those explosions might not have to occur within within the main pub in an inn, right?
I guess.
Fine. Right. Okay.
I want to make sure, as the player, that I understand the plan here. So we go to this penthouse. We have to break these crystals first, right?
Mhm.
And then we go and do the sleep trial thing in order to fight them.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So there will be like most likely 4 or 5 of these gems you'll have to find, these Lucidia stones, and these ones will actually essentially act as barriers that you'll need to break down. And once those are all brought down, then you can use the Lucidia stone that's given to you by Mystere to enter into that realm, that plane of dreams.
All right, and then.
And you said something about there being guardians in this place?
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
there will likely be, she says there will likely be defenses, and there will likely be sentinels who stand as guards. Mhm.
All right. Well, as Mark 5, I'm gonna ask to confirm. Gilzaf and myself do not necessarily sleep or dream, will
Uh-huh.
this work on us?
Let's see. She just
I was
kind of
just gonna
gets
let the other people in the party go fight the guy.
right. Yeah, she gets
With the party.
right. She simply says, "Have faith that your DM will provide." I'll think of that one when I wrote the adventure. Right, it's all about dreaming. And that's true. Is there canon for Warforged and other constructs and other creatures of that nature to dream?
It's like we don't need sleep. We kind of
Mhm.
just like, was it like power down or like enter like a rest
standby.
mode?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she was talking about being in an inactive motionless state instead of sleeping. You appear inert but remain conscious is for me.
Mhm.
But she did say she was talking about as if perhaps we aren't dreaming but going to the plane of dreams.
Mhm.
And I feel like most planes of existence within the greater universe of whatever this universe is called,
Mhm.
you can go there as long as you have the means to travel there.
Mhm.
Whether or not you can survive there is, of course, up to the plane itself. You know, like if you go to the plane of fire and you're made out of water, you probably will evaporate. But
Right.
The flyer is on the table, right?
It is.
Svetlana taps it and goes, "This says teleportation access." Now, like, that's
Mhm.
good if you want to go to a place, but if you want to go a place that's also somewhere else, you can change that, and House Orion will probably only be mad when they find out. So, like, we could probably make that take us to the dream place if we had to. If like the thing didn't work for you, we could just sort of like fling you through the plains and hope you land with us when we use the rock. Or we could all go through that way and get there together, maybe. I don't know, but you know.
Okay.
You can reprogram these things. I'm pretty sure. She has never done this.
Right.
doesn't even know how
Okay.
teleportation works exactly, but is like,
Right.
yeah, I could probably make that work.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
is
so the
exactly her.
Yeah, so the teleportation device is simply it's a front door access, right? That will take you to the level instead of there being an elevator. The front door of the building is a teleporter. Stepping through that, you declare what floor you're going to, and it teleports you to the floor. In this case, it'll teleport you to the top floor, and there you'll appear on the pavilion where you'll be able to enter that unit. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully,
yeah,
their
Svetlana,
teleportation.
Mhm.
I was making a joke. You're fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. Dear, also, she says you might just let's see on that. Okay, so she may also be able to make the necessary modifications to your companions. This skill would have to be performed, or this would have to come from you, Svetlana. But essentially, to modify your companion, so without being inhibited.
We lost some critical portion of that, Jason.
Yeah.
We did. I was, however, focused on you going.
We got that Svetlana will need to modify her companions, but then it all cut out after that.
Okay. Your construct friends exist within the dream realm. It would pretty artificer work, but option.
Your internet really doesn't want us
brains.
to find out what you want us to do.
Yeah, right.
It's true.
Okay. Sorry, I'll try it. You pull the at them so that they in the dream world. Hopefully that got through.
Nope.
Did that work?
No.
No?
Well, the second we started talking
You
again,
keep
completely
breaking
cut
up
out.
and freezing.
It's only when we get to
It's
the
funny
important
because-
parts we haven't heard.
Exactly.
Read what I
I'm
typed.
sorry. Oh, we're gonna read what you type. Okay.
It's going to come through as static in the chat somehow.
It just comes out encrypted.
It's all the ASCII characters when your printer driver goes skewy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
You might be able to modify your construct companions to exist within the dream realm. Yep. Yep.
Breaking up.
There you go.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
But that's another option. As we have an officer within the group who may be able to, reconfigure, reconfigure those pieces of that control that make up consciousness of your within that dream realm. That's something that could happen. Again, the DM, I was, I'm thinking that would kind of find a way to work. But that's
Yeah.
okay. All right. So with thinking about next steps, right? We can move to that location. We could and ask him to stop selling his. Think of other approaches. What do y'all want to do?
What I want to do is take a nap. Not me, but Gilzaf.
Mhm.
Gilzaf wants to take a nap.
Oh yeah, did we
Uh-huh.
sleep after that fight?
Yeah,
And like,
I don't think we've had a long rest since then.
Okay.
No. We
Okay. Not yet.
went back to the
Uh-huh.
precinct and then we skipped over to the inn. So I'm assuming this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
afternoon, evening. So sleep is probably next.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
didn't Miss Deer also say we should kill her boss? The lieutenant?
yeah,
Not necessarily. No.
Oh, she said
he's.
confront.
I mean,
at
he's
least.
clearly been.
in front.
Oh, not necessarily. No, she's talking. She is actually talking about the core responsible for all of this, the big boss.
Okay.
Which I mean,
Don't
we
worry,
don't know.
I
That might be
also heard
Mar.
kill the leader of the police force.
Like, if she needs a promotion and she wants us to kill her boss, he's got the perfect cover to have us do
Sure.
that for it.
Most of us are not opposed.
Right.
Well,
Right. I see. Yeah.
What?
I mean,
That's why I said most of us, Alex.
we could find out. Yeah.
Xylek
We can find out
might
where he
we
be-
would
lives.
have the whole police force against us.
Xylek might be. Mark 5 is indifferent. The other two, probably all in.
As a rogue.
Yep. Yeah. Well, clearly Vietmar is compromised. And, he's one of them for sure, and we don't know. I mean, Vietnam might connect it directly to this boss, but it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, probably one of the highest ranking officials who compromised or possessed that you have run into thus far. Pretty sure. I mean, it's like the powers that be are probably all under the influence of the Dreaming Dark. So did that scatter too?
It did a little bit.
Did that get through?
I think it did.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I need to
think
go buy
that's
better
what
internet.
it did.
It's honestly, it's getting worse. I feel.
Do you need fiber
Okay.
internet, perhaps?
Yeah, it'd be nice if that was available here.
Right?
Right. Okay. Good.
Yeah, so
All right. So
can we
where to next? What do you want to do?
You
You want to rest up?
sleep and in the morning go and do this?
Yeah.
Or is it time sensitive?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's time sensitive in the. Don't just let it hang out.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna spend the next week shopping.
Yeah, I mean, you have. There you go.
It doesn't affect me currently
Take
right
a few
now.
weeks off. Right. Obviously, the longer we wait, the worse things are going to get. But
Yeah.
I think certainly, we can simply say we ride at dawn.
We can look for the
Sure.
for our coming with the rising of the third sun or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Look to the rising of the sun on the third day. That's what it is.
Is this some Lord of the Rings nonsense? That sounds like Lord of the Rings nonsense.
Absolutely Lord of the Rings nonsense. That's Gandalf the Paladin saying, hey, I'm going to bring in all of the Rohirrim to Helm's Deep when the sun rises on the third day.
Nuts
With my
to the
sun god.
Rohirrim.
Nice. That is how. So we could. Do you guys? If you want, it's 15 past 7.
Yeah. Do we want to?
Right?
Yeah, we want to wrap this up because your internet is cutting out and you're becoming less and less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry
about that. Okay.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
we'll do that. Alrighty.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining. We will be back with Dream Dealers of Fairhaven next Wednesday, the 14th. I believe everything is set for that. Just double checking my calendar. Yes, everything is set for that. We would normally have Rise of the Rune Lords this week, but we have one person out, so our next session for Rise of the Rune Lords, our return, should be May 22nd. So in another 2 weeks. Yeah, that looks to be about everything. Thank you all for joining another session of Dream Dealers of Fairhaven. We'll be back next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or somewhere around there. And
approximately that time.
Yeah. Alright, let's wrap this up. I'm Beluga, your guildmaster here at the Role Players Guild, and I play Mark V, the Warforged Warlock. Alex, to you, Laura on deck.
Yes. I'm Alex. I'm your cleric druid multiclass Xylic Seerster, the lizard folk. All right, Laura.
I'm Laura. I'm Gilsaf, who's a full night mystic. And I just remembered that I have a pet mimic whose name is Puddin'. And now it's B Spouse's turn.
I'm B Spouse. I'm unfortunately behind the wheel of Svetlana and her pet mechanical goat, and who is going to absolutely spend some of this time in the intervening evening sitting down with Gilsaf and go, we get to break into a house, so let's do this right. Because
Yes.
Gilsaf seems to understand that as a very fun challenge. And if Jason's internet is working, it is now Jason's turn to twang out on us.
All right. I am Jason, coming at you live with a dial-up connection working just great. Microphone.
I can't tell if he was doing that on purpose or not.
A little bit of
think it was
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think somebody's attempting to make a phone call at Jason's house.
Yeah.
It's interfering with the internet.
All right,
What's going on there? Yep. Someone turned the microwave on.
Alright, everyone, we will call it there. Good night, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye now.